as I'm making this video, that 2017 tax bill is hurriedly being rewritten with a couple of sweetheart or pork barrel items being removed. One of them in particular benefits just one college in the state of Kentucky. That's just one of the pork barrel things that they got to pull out of this thing, because the bill that they're proposing is in excess of $1.5 trillion as far as deficit spending is concerned. Now, in case you missed it, I'm going to play for you about 3 minutes worth of the statements made on the floor of the House of Representatives, so you can listen to some of the bullshit that the Republicans are going to throw out there.
In order, history will indeed remember this vote. Future generation of Americans will remember who cast their votes to raise taxes on 86 million middle-class households and heap another $1.5 trillion in deficits onto our children and to our grandchildren. And those of us who vote against it are doing so not because we oppose tax reform. On the contrary, we recognize, as most Americans do, that this bill is not tax reform. It is a tax giveaway to those who don't need our help, paid for by those who do.
Mr. Scalise.
You know, there are those on the other side that would say keep all the money in Washington, stunt economic growth, continue to let America be non-competitive, where we see jobs go overseas over and over again, large companies, thousands of jobs at a time, move into foreign countries because we have the highest corporate tax rate in the industrialized world. In our bill, Mr. Speaker, we cut every single tax rate and make it lower. That's more money in the pockets of hardworking families. On average, families are going to see over $2,000 more back in their paychecks every year.
From California.
And the next year, when people check their checks and realize they have more money, they're going to remember who voted for status quo and who voted to make the American come back. So don't vote for the status quo. Vote for a tax cut. Vote for reform. Vote for your constituents. Vote for your country. And vote to raise the paychecks of America.
Lady from California is recognized for 1 minute.
Outside the Congress, the American people have already made their decision. Polling shows that Americans oppose the GOP tax scam by a margin of 2 to 1. Hardworking families see right through the brazen con job Republicans are trying to sell them. At the end of this vote, they will stand up and cheer, adding trillions to the national debt in order to give tax breaks to the wealthiest 1% and to big corporations. They'll cheer that. And they'll cheer when they say we can't afford to protect the health of our innocent children. They'll cheer that. Remember, they will cheer when they tell you we can't afford the next step. We can't afford Medicaid, Medicare, and a dignified retirement our seniors spent a lifetime earning. That's an applause line for them.
The Speaker of the House is recognized for 1 minute.
We are about to achieve some really big things. Things that the cynics have scoffed at for years, decades even. Ideas that have been worked on for so long to help hardworking Americans who have been left behind for too long. They hear about the economy getting better. They turn on the TV and they see the stock market going up. But now we need to make sure that these people in our communities, in our country who are struggling, see their own personal economy getting better. And that's what this is all about. The mission that drives us here today is to restore this beautiful American idea. What is that idea? That the condition of your birth does not determine the outcome of your life. You can work hard, play by the rules, get ahead, and make a better life for yourselves and an even better one for your kids.
And that was the initial vote before the House parliamentarian came back in and told them that the bill would not fly based on the amount of deficit spending that was going to occur. So they are at this moment in the process of rewriting this bill and removing the items that I mentioned. Now, with that being said, it's my opinion, and that's all it is, an opinion, that a lot of these people, both in the House and in the Senate, are not going to be running for re-election in 2018 and definitely not in 2020. If you weren't aware of it, every single member of Congress is a millionaire, okay? They're not regular people like you and me with a house and a mortgage and a regular job. These guys are, every last single one of them, millionaires. So they basically, with this particular tax cut for big business and the wealthy, and make no mistake, because the Government Accounting Office came down with an analysis of this particular tax bill, and the previous bill, the one that was initially voted on in the House and in the Senate, they were two separate bills, obviously. They basically gave 63% of the tax benefits in the bills that they voted on to the top 1% of people in this country. When they went to conference, that wasn't good enough. And they had to buy some votes off, like Senator Corker from Tennessee. That's where they gave additional benefits for real estate holders through pass-through income. Anyway, the bottom line is that the bill that these guys voted on, you see the vote 227 to 203, the bill that they voted on didn't just give 63% of the benefits to the top 1%. Now it's 83% of the benefits to the top 1%. Now, you got various senators in here, and again, I state that these guys are not going to be running for re-election in 2018, 2020. If they do run, they'll basically be running on campaign contributions from the top 1%, super PACs and billionaire donors. But there are several people who are not going to run. Corker's not going to run, and he's got mega real estate holdings that he's going to benefit from in this particular bill. Jeff Flake had announced that he was not going to run, and it really ticks me off that he had no pressure to vote on this bill, and he claimed, along with Corker, that he would not vote for a bill that increased the debt. Well, they got to them and paid them off because they're voting. But the one that really ticks me off is Susan Collins. They made promises to her that they would pass legislation to stabilize the Affordable Care Act, so that the $300 billion that is going to come out of the Affordable Care Act, i.e., because of the mandate being removed, they made promises to her that they were going to issue legislation in order to stabilize it, because a lot of people in her state depend on the Affordable Care Act, and specifically on the Medicare expansion. But, and this is a big but, it appears that they are not going to even consider the legislation that she was talking about. So she's going to have sold her soul and gotten nothing in return. Now, let me tell you folks, the Republicans have 9 seats that are up for election in 2018, and the Democrats have approximately 23. The seats that the Republicans have up in 2018 basically are in Wyoming, John Barrasso. I don't know what's going to go down with him. You got Orrin Hatch, he's going to retire, and Mitt Romney's going to take his place. You got Ted Cruz, who's going to probably get primary because he's a goddamn nut. Bob Corker is not going to run. Dean Heller is going to get voted out in Nebraska. I'm not sure what's going to go down with Debbie Fisher out of Nebraska, but she hasn't made her intentions known as far as if she's going to run. You got Roger Wicker in Mississippi. You have obviously Jeff Flake out of Arizona. He's not going to run. And you have the Democrat Jones that just won in Mississippi. He's going to have to run for his seat, but I believe it's his term is up in 2020. So I think he just won the election to fill the seat for the remainder of Jefferson Beauregard's Sessions term, which I believe is up in 2020. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jones might have to run again next year in order to win. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sure about that. The Democrats have indicated they are going back to the 50-state solution, i.e. they're going to run against every Republican in the country. And in my opinion, I think that the Democrats more than likely will be able to hold on to all of their seats. And I make that statement because of the pain and suffering that white people are going to start undergoing. Now, you heard Scalise out of Louisiana state that this bill is going to stop the loss of jobs. Well, the net gain on jobs pretty much quarterly is approximately 200,000 jobs being added to the economy. And just to give you all of the information, a lot of those jobs, not all, but a nice amount of those jobs are part-time jobs. But there are a good number also of full-time jobs in the service industries and manufacturing sectors. The deal that Donald Trump cut in Indiana for that air conditioning company was supposed to be an indication of what Republicans can do when they set their mind to it. But if you didn't know it, that particular company, after they got a great deal from the state of Indiana, they decided to move jobs to Mexico anyway. So out of, I believe there were approximately 1,000 jobs at that particular manufacturing plant for the air conditioners. After everything's all said and done, and I'm talking about the second layoff, because they already had the first one in July, where approximately 200 plus jobs were lost. There's going to be another layoff, and I believe it's around the 23rd of December, where approximately another 300 to 400 jobs are going to be lost. So approximately 700 jobs out of 1,000 jobs are going from Indiana to Mexico. So all that bullshit line that Donald Trump gave us about saving jobs and this is what Republicans can do, we all see that that's bullshit. Now, true enough, as far as the tax cuts are concerned and people being able to see additional funds in their paycheck, yeah. When they said a family of 4 will see approximately $2,000 more annually on their paycheck, folks, that's $40 a week after tax. And yeah, it could mean a lot to some people, but in the grand scheme of things, that is not a lot of money when you talk about the increase that these people are going to have to pay for increased premiums in health care. I got my health care bill and the amount that I'm going to be charged for next year, and my bill went from $585 to $611. So that's a $26 increase on a monthly basis. So $26 if I were working and received $120, I'm sorry, $160 a month, approximately 25%, a little bit more, about 30% of my income or increase in income is going to be eaten up by increased health care benefits. And that doesn't even count the increases in various other cost of living items, food, gasoline, etc. So yeah, you're going to see $40 a week in your paycheck, but that $40 that you're going to see is going to get eaten up by various things. Whereas the top 1%, as far as their income is concerned, they're going to see increases of $183,000 annually, and your super rich are going to see numbers that dwarf those. So you get what you vote for, and now I hope that people will finally see that Republicans are full of shit. They talk a good game about the national debt and budget deficits, but when they got their turn at the plate, they showed their true colors. They don't give a damn about deficits and the national debt as long as they can line their own pockets and the pockets of their donors. This is a damn shame, and I'm hoping that after the 2018 elections, that a bunch of these guys get cleared out and possibly new tax regulations can be put into place to basically offset the bullshit that these guys are signing off on now. I don't have a lot of hope for it because they're going to need 60 votes in the Senate in order to get something through. I have no doubt that when the House flipped, they'll be able to put something together to help everyday citizens. But it's really the Senate that we're going to have to go after these guys on. We will see. I failed to mention something that crossed my mind. Not just this particular tax bill, but when that deficit starts running way above the projected negative numbers, the Republicans are going to come back and say that they've got to do something about that if they are still in power. And to be honest with you, they don't really have to say jack, especially if the Democrats take over the House and the Senate. But they will, as they usually do, propose to cut Social Security, Medi-Cal, and Medicare. So again, for all of you folks that are approaching retirement age and are looking forward to your Social Security, and for all of you folks that are looking forward to your Medicare, and for all of you other folks who are utilizing Medi-Cal or have family members, you know, mothers, fathers that are in nursing homes that are utilizing Medicare benefits, and kids utilizing Medicare benefits, that really is going to be a kicker for you. Because if you weren't aware of it, Medicare is not cheap, and medical benefits are not cheap. And Social Security was not designed to be your only source of income. It was designed to be a help. So they're proposing less help for you in your years of retirement. So again, I think certain senators are going to be on the endangered species list, and they are going to see the handwriting on the wall and choose not to run. And in particular, I was watching a news clip a little while ago, and the people in Maine are totally pissed off at Susan Collins. She had indicated that she had thoughts of running for governor. I don't think that she can run for dog catcher after this particular bill passes. But, you know, there are always some people who will drink the Kool-Aid and let somebody piss on them and believe that it's raining. So, folks, we need to mobilize. We need to learn to vote in our own self-interest, and we need to get these bastards out of here so that the government can operate as it was supposed to, which is to be a help to the people, not a hindrance, not a vehicle to be used in order to further enrich the people who don't need the extra money. Just one man's opinion.